Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Fight CPS and stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and it's a warm welcome because I know how bad CPS really is. I'm a victim of CPS, as well as 2,700 of my listeners from 23 countries, including the US. And when I mention by countries, I mean Indonesia and Bangladesh and India. Then the Middle East is Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over to the continent of Africa, I have Liberia and Sudan and Republic of Congo. Then Rwanda, Mozambique, and then the provinces of South Africa. Then up to Europe, I have the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales. I also have Denmark and Sweden. Um, then across the pond, I have North America, and that's Canada and its provinces. And of course, USA and all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. Then south of the border, I have Mexico. Then further south in South America, north of Brazil on the east coast is Grenada. Then in the South Pacific, I have New Zealand. And then the land down under, Australia and its states. So that's quite a group of people. They all have one thing in common, as we all do. They ran into a rogue CPS entity. You're going to find out that 50% of the CPS entities are corrupt. That's taken from statistics that I've investigated and so forth. It's a 50-50 chance that one of the type of reporters, the professional reporters, will get it right. 50-50 chance. And the other kind of reporters, which are the lay people, get it right maybe 30%, 25% of the time. They're 75% wrong. So it is a sad state of affair that CPS is in. But I want to welcome you here because I'm hoping I can help you. I'm hoping I can help you. And we got some people coming in tonight. Really great. I'm great to see these people. First up is Betty Joe from Montana. Welcome, Betty Joe. She's a foster mom. She's adopted one child recently, a little boy that she's trying to raise. She's trying to work on her niece that her brother has lost. And so, and Betty is not corrupt. I didn't mean that all foster care is corrupt. I said the CPS entity, 50% of them seem to be corrupt. So I was referring to you, Betty Joe, because you don't. I know you work for CPS, but you're not one of the social workers. You're a foster care mom that cares more about the families and the children first, and money second. And that's what keeps a lot of the group going bad there and stuff. Now, David Hilago is come in tonight. He's got a meeting tomorrow, a hearing with my attorney, Vincent Davis, his attorney he hired. He says, "Good evening, Bob, and all my friends here." And David says, "Hi, Betty." And I know Betty would say hi back. And then Trina is, "Good evening, Trina Biena." And I have no idea where you're from, Trina. Um, I'd love to know more about you, what part of the world you're from, and so forth. And David says, "Hi, Trina." And Trina says, "Hi, David. Good. You guys are communicating with each other." Bay Joe says, "Well, David, do you want to hire Vince too?" Yes, David has hired Vince, Betty. David is hired Vincent Davis. He's hired him since the beginning. I'm the one that kind of encouraged him to do so. So, yes, you did speak the other day. I remember that. Um, David has spoken live, and Trina, I forgot where you're from, Trina. So that is really, really, really good. So, yeah, David is has a bad case where the aunt, which is his sister, has sort of coached their 9-year-old daughter. He had possession of his young son and his 9-year-old daughter. His wife is not in the picture, but he's taking care of the two kids. Well, anyway, the paternal grandmother and the aunt are undermining him, and they're kind of like convincing their daughter, his young daughter, that he did something inappropriate, which isn't true. So he's really got an uphill battle. Tomorrow is a hearing for a trial date. They wanted to move it again. So Vince will be appearing on Zoom for tomorrow because it's just a hearing. Am I saying that right, David? I want to make sure I got that right, David. So I'm glad to have you all in here. You're a wonderful, wonderful mom, a wonderful foster parent. And I know how hard you are to deal with your brother's child. You're trying to get your niece, and that niece should belong with you, not with the people down in Nebraska that are nothing biologically related to that child, and all they want is the money that social service will pay out. So I'm so sorry that you're going through that, Betty Joe. And Betty Joe has another one from Montana is Bartley. Bartley is from Montana, a neighbor. There she is. There's Barkley. Hello, Barkley. Welcome this evening. Barkley was so excited to tell me on Sunday she had a session with her son. She gave him a bubble bath, dried him, put lotion on him, got his robe, and she had a wonderful time with her son. So, unfortunately, she has a partner that really has turned out bad and trying to rob her. Anyway, she's trying to get her son in, and her partner's done nothing but undermine everything that she does. But she did have a good time there, and we got a thumbs up from David. I'm glad to see that. So we have David from Santa Maria, California. His case is in Santa Barbara County, and then we have Bartley from Montana, and then we have Trina Biana, but I forgot where you're from. And yeah, I know you spoke with me, Trina. I just forgot. I just was need your help there. And then we have Betty Joe from Montana. So we have a really good mixture of people. Um, I'm glad that we have these people in tonight. Hopefully, you all have some questions, or you have a story to say, or what your case is going on, or need your help, something, I will help you. That's right. You're in York, Pennsylvania. I forgot. That's right. York, Pennsylvania. That's right, Trina. Now I remember. And Pennsylvania really had a hard time with, I think, some policemen that got shot. I think three or four guys got, or a girl, I don't know, they just got shot and hurt. I'm really sorry to hear that. And that was, I think, from the same county as York. I don't know if you know anything about that, Trina, or not, or the status of that whole situation, but it was domestic quarreling, and I think someone got hold of a gun and decided to shoot instead of try to talk it out, I guess. Um, anyway, here we are, and I'm not far from that incident. All right, Trina. So I do keep my eyes on the news there. So that is sad that people. Well, it's just like this guy that memorial was this past weekend, Charlie Kirk. How someone wanted to take his life. It's sad when people are angry and they want to resort to killing. That's not resolve anything. It not resolved anything. So, what does everybody want me to talk about? You want to talk about my 5 rules? You want me to tell you about my case or about social workers? I have so much information I can give you. I just need to be pointed in the right direction. So, we got Trina from York, Pennsylvania, Betty Joe from Montana, Bartley from Montana, and we have David from Santa Maria, California. And who else do we have here? Already got Betty Joe and Dave. Yeah, I think I got everybody. So anyway, Trina, how can I help you further from York, Pennsylvania? Oh, hello, Cynthia Livingstone. Please tell us everything about civil lawsuits. Well, I can tell you about civil lawsuits. It's hard there. And hello, Kelly Pitzer. I think you've been before. You from Indiana. Welcome, Kelly. So we got Cynthia and from oh boy, where are you from, Cynthia? Now I forgot. Jeez, I think you're from California, aren't you not, Cynthia Livingstone? If you're going to do a lawsuit, the first step you must do is that you must make sure your CPS case is over. You don't have that still going doing a lawsuit. Now, a lawsuit against CPS is possible, but you got to find an attorney that can do it because it takes a special kind of attorney. And Vincent Davis has won lots of lawsuits and won lots of millions of dollars, both in state court and federal court. But usually, when you file a lawsuit against CPS against one of his workers, it's because they committed perjury. In my case, my social worker committed perjury. She she lied. She outright lied on the stand, and we caught her. So, and she's just a very horrible woman. She's in her early 20s, no high school education, no college education, and doesn't know what she's doing. And they put all this trust with her, which is really wrong. Which is really, really wrong. Now, with lawsuits, you can do a violation of your constitutional rights or maybe your civil rights. Like in my case, my social worker lied. Well, she committed perjury on the stand, and my attorney caught her. It was really, really great how he did that. He led her into the trap. But you do have problems with cases calling and stuff like that. So lawsuits can be done, and Vincent Davis will do lawsuits. He's won millions of dollars both in state court and federal court. Now, Kelly, what other questions would you have there? And Trina says, I need to know what to say to my judge to get her to listen to me and look into what I'm saying. Well, Trina, if you're fighting a case pro se, you can talk to the judge. Pro se means you're fighting it yourself and without an attorney. Or if you don't have an attorney, then you must be using a court appointed attorney, and that's going to really hurt because they will not work for you. Court appointed attorneys are a waste of time. They're not trained in juvenile law or family law or, even dependency law. So that they're not trained or educated there. And furthermore, it takes a special kind of person to deal with a CPS matter. It takes a special kind of person. Anyway, I'm here tonight. Why is it getting so dark here? It should not be dark. Seems sometimes I have. Oh my goodness! Why is my contrast down? There we go. My contrast is up. I don't know who changes my contrast down. Hopefully, everybody can hear me tonight. That I do want to make sure everybody can hear me. Now, Trina was asking how she get the judge to listen to you. Well, if you're pro se, he will listen to you. But if you're being represented by a court appointed attorney, you got to get the court appointed attorney to work for you, Trina. You got him to tell the judge what you want him to know. Okay? And David says to Betty that Vincent Davis is very expensive. You're going to need a war chest. Yeah, David knows. He's already now. So David is in California, and he's at San Maria, and he's fighting a case in Santa Barbara County. Vince is in L.A. County, down south in Arcadia. And I appreciate. Thank you, Cynthia. I love to be thanked. That's great. In fact, I got a 1 thumbs up from somebody. It's from Antonio Ferreira da Silva. I have no idea where he's from, but thank you for the thumbs up. That's really, really, really good. Yes. But he's well worth it. He will definitely win your case. There's no question about that. Now, Kelly had another question. Can they stop visits solely on one failed drug screen? No. That's the sad part. They do everything. They come to your house, you'll let them in, you open the door. You don't know that you don't have to do that. Then they come in, look around, they find things wrong. Then they ask for your child, and your child's not in danger, but they take your child. It's wrong what they do. You speak to them, they use everything you say against them. Rule number three is you don't allow them in your house. When your door is closed, the drawbridge is up, it's your castle, you protect it. You tell your families not to answer the door. Then anybody wants to come and visit you, you tell them the special ring or the knock, and that way you can answer the door and feel safe. But if you open the door every time, you don't know if somebody's on the other side with a gun and can kill you. That's how serious it is opening the door. There's a lot of crazy people in this world. A lot of crazy people. Okay, now the question was, oh, one failed drug screen. No, you need to tell them your visitations. The problem is you're using court appointed attorneys. They're going to do nothing for you. You got to make them work. You got to kick them in the seat of the pants. You got to tell them you're defending me. If you're not, I will file a lawsuit against you for neglect. Not for neglect. I'm sorry, the wrong word. For not doing your job. Um, for not, and I will call the state bar and have your license removed. I'll make a complaint, and you can do those things and get rid of um, those bad attorneys. You got to make sure they understand they're working for you. They're going to sit there and say to themselves, "I'm working for CPS. They're the ones that pay me." Yeah, but they're also the ones that are going to load you up with cases of 50, 30 to 100 clients. That's what I've heard. Ridiculously number like that. Now, Cynthia says, we're trusting in the power of the blood of our King Uzziah who's fighting. Okay, I understand that, Cynthia. I understand that. Um, and yes, you can hear me perfectly. All right. Um, Cynthia going overboard here. I appreciate your um, idea about God, but we need to deal with issues regarding CPS. Would Vincent Davis represent me being so far away? Sure would, Trina. Sure would. Trina, I think, is in York, Pennsylvania, right? I think. Um, Kelly's in Indiana. Yeah, Trina is from York, Pennsylvania. He'll come there. I can get you a quote, but he has airfare, ground transportation, hotel, and food, and he has the license for Pennsylvania. He'll have to pay to practice law there. So there would be amount of the retainer and then so much an hour. And I can get that for you. All you have to do is tell me or text me or send me an email, and then I can take it from there. Okay, Trina. Um, um, Kelly says, UCLA, right. That's who I filed a complaint against a court appointment. No. UCLA is the name of the school. That's the University of California, Los Angeles. I didn't say that. You file a complaint against a court appointed lawyer at the state bar. And in California, it's Sacramento. Every state will have a state bar at their capital. And that's who you file a complaint with. Oh, Cynthia lives close to Arcadia. Good. I'm glad you do, Cynthia. Yeah, I'm glad you got the help there, Cynthia. And Kelly says she's got me. Gotcha. Good. I didn't want you to get confused. You're not going to go to UCLA to file a complaint against a child protection court appointed attorney. But anyway, that's the right place. That's the right place. Great, great, great. All right, Cynthia. We need to talk about CPS matters, CPS questions. We can also talk about adult protection services too. We can talk about adult protection services too. Hmm. Ah, good evening, David.
Hi, Bob. And hello to everybody here watching tonight. I'm going to make this brief. I just wanted to say something that may be helpful for the people who are on right now. And thanks to Bob once again. Uh, if you have the means, I strongly suggest that you would hire Vincent Davis. Um, I I hired him, and I kind of had some apprehensions about with him because I know he's very busy. But when you get to see him in court and he's there to represent you, it, I have a totally different opinion of him. And the way that he works, he is very meticulous. And you are going to get what you pay for. And the one thing I can speak on Mr. Davis is he doesn't leave any stone unturned. And he makes sure that when he's on your case, he's completely making sure that every bit of the case is going to be very well put together. He's very strategic, and he knows why he does things, and to assure that you have the outcome that you want. And and as a lawyer, they can't make promises, but when he told me that he wasn't going to let me down, I have to say he's coming through. And my case looked very, very difficult at the beginning, even though I'm innocent. But now I'm 100% sure that my case is going to have the outcome that we want. And later on, the results that I'm going to have as far as going after CPS for what they've done to me. So Bob is absolutely right when he praises Mr. Vincent for his skills in the courtroom. And like I said, don't gamble with your child. I know it's a lot of money, but a court-appointed attorney, they don't care about you, and they're going to do the minimal effort, or nothing at all. And so I was told to give up on my case by several attorneys and to just walk away from it and sign my daughter over to the maternal grandmother, and that would be the end of it. But and this is from attorneys that had 40 years of experience, according to them. But I didn't, and I'm glad that I'm still fighting with everything. And like I said, I brought in the number one guy, so you will not be disappointed. And when Bob, is constantly, reassuring us as far as Mr. Davis' skills, he's 100%. It's true because I hired him, and so take my word for it. I've seen what's happened, and I can't wait to go to trial and get this resolved.
Good, good, David. That's really sounds positive. And tomorrow is his hearing, and so it should be a straightforward. Should take no more than 5 minutes. They just have to get a date set in stone and stick to the date.
Yes,
Stick to the date.
yes. The only thing that's complicated is that CPS has dragged this out on me, so I'm hemorrhaging money. Because I'm you got to pay for every minute. And so I have a private detective, and of course, Mr. Davis, and I have another attorney that's a friend of mine that's helping me. And it's expensive, but I mean, I only have one 9-year-old little girl, and I'd do anything for her. And so here I am in this situation. But it's unfortunate. CPS will use all kinds of stall tactics, and the way they do things, you're not in a level playing field. CPS, they don't have any ethics, so you have to be careful. Don't assume that they're going to do what's right and that they have a moral compass, because they don't. I'm not saying that all of them are bad, but the ones that I've seen, it's scary and it's very sad. And so, unfortunately, my case has been postponed. My trial's been postponed 5 times now. So I'm hoping that tomorrow we have the hearing to set the trial date, because I need 2 days back to back, because I have 16 witnesses that I'm taking into court with experts included. And so, like I said, I'm going to get the outcome that I wanted. Mr. Davis told me, I thought he could win it on Friday, but he says, you know what, we need to get the extra time to make sure that we have everything done correctly, so that this is completely done with, and then we can go forward with step 2, which I'll talk about later on in another day. But anyways,
Right, and also,
and I just want to tell everybody,
yeah,
yes,
I was going to say also, David, I helped you with some new ideas the other day too. It's interesting. I keep
Bob,
coming up with them.
the thing about Bob is Bob has seen everything, and he has a lot of different perspectives. I'm in the trenches, and I've got my focus on certain things, but Bob has pointed out a lot of things that I've overlooked, unfortunately, because, like I said, I'm up to my neck in other things. But Bob, all the details, that you've told me to focus on, and the verbiage, that you've shared with me to use, and I've made a lot of notes, and it's going to strengthen my position in court. And so, once again, thank you for all of your input and the experience that you have, because you've been through it yourself. And so, everybody else in here, be a sponge. And there's no such thing as a dumb question. Don't be hesitant. Take advantage of the time that we have when we're on here with Bob. And I guess any of the other parents who are involved, if they can share anything that's worked out for them, or anything that would give us an advantage, by all means, please share it with the group, because we can help each other out. And that being said, I just want to say, thank you all for being here on Bob's channel, and God bless all of you guys. Thank you, Bob, and we'll keep up the good fight. And I'll be in touch to see what happens tomorrow. Okay, guys?
Okay, I will. I will.
You, okay?
All right. Many prayers to you, David. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling in.
You got it, buddy.
Okay, that was David Helago from Santa Maria, California, who has a case in Santa Barbara, who has a hearing tomorrow, who has hired Mr. Davis. And he's got an excellent attorney. We had someone come in here that I quite overlooked here. The name is Scotty McMahon. And your first question was why? Why what? I don't know what the why was about, but maybe you were asking about why we need a real attorney as opposed to a court appointed attorney. Then Scotty further says, why do the judges always side with the CPS? Well, the judges, you have to understand, 50% of the agencies supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse have gone rogue. They're bad. And they're cahoots with the judges, and the lawyers are cahoots. It's like they go to lunch together, they play golf together. I mean, they just really are palsy walsy. So that really hurts you fighting your case, especially when you're innocent. They're going to try to take advantage of you, make you go through hurdles and everything. I'm sorry you have to go through that, but you have to stay your course. It's really rough weather when you deal with CPS. They are very corrupt. They do retaliation. They lie. They lie so bad. I've never seen a government agency lie as much as the child protection system does. It's really, really, really tough. And no matter if it's called the Child Protection Services our Department of Children's Services, our Department of Family and Children's Services, or the cabinet. It's all the same. They're supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification. They need to break apart the family. And they don't do that reunification. It's always on the back burner. And it doesn't help when the agency will advertise that the federal government says, well, you counties, if you ever get a child into foster care, we will reward you $35,000 to the agency. That's a lot of money to give them because they get them into foster care. Foster care is not necessarily the right thing. Now, I know we have a foster care mom here. I do not want to pay down, but there are a lot of bad foster care people. And I know that Betty Joe will talk about bad foster care people. Not all are bad. Betty Joe's the exception. And so far, all the foster care people I've met on here, has been three or four, been really nice. I did have a social worker that came on once and talked. She was from Maryland, and she supposedly had a college education, and that she was really appalled to hear how the horrible stories was. And so she talked for a good 40 minutes about how people in Maryland, how they do handle the CPS. So there is possibility you reach nice pockets, but a lot of times you don't. And this comes from mothers like Lycan in South Africa. I mean, I've had some interesting phone calls. She paid for it, the call from South Africa to my phone number. So um, it's really, really good that she did call in because it did help her. I haven't heard from her in a while, but she might be listening. Now, Scotty McMahon, I have no idea where you're from, but I'd like you if you could tell me where you're from. That would be great. All right. Now, Kelly said, I had one failed screen in 6 months. Judge stopped visits. Oh, yeah, that's the one thing. And you never missed a birthday. I missed every birthday. I'm so sorry you're doing that. Hey, Rocky. Rocky's from Scranton, Ohio. And from not Scranton, Ohio, Scranton, Pennsylvania. I apologize, Rocky. Rocky says, tell the viewers to like, share, and subscribe this video. Helps with algorithms. Oh, okay, Rocky. Yep, law enforcement also lies a lot too. You're right. You're right. Law enforcement does. That's why, you need an attorney to represent you. And you should not talk to any of them. If you ask them, you meet them, and the first thing you should ask them is this regarding a legal issue? Is regarding a legal issue, they need to tell you that. So that way you say, well, I need to schedule my attorney. My attorney will talk to you. We'll meet a later date. That's one way to get out of meeting with CPS. Now, I forgot to put on my screen. I don't know if I put the message how to do text messages, but I think most you're doing a pretty good job. If you want to text me a message, make it a question or a comment about CPS or APS. APS is Adult um, Protection Services. I call the CPS Child Protection Service. Please state your first name, your city or county, and your state. If you're outside of the United States, put down your country. I'd like to know where you're from. Also, tell me a lot about your case from the beginning to the end. So that's one way, another way to interact in this room. Now, you can also be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest, all you have to do is email me at bobp.vincentwdavis.com, and send your I will send your name, phone number, and your email to Grace, who in turn will contact you and set you up with a time or window that you wanted to be on my live stream. I can take up to 9 of you. With me makes 10. So I'd love to hear from you. Now, when she gets the message from me, then she'll email you, give you a link, you copy and paste it in your browser, and you're on SteamYard. That's the software application I use. And there you can go ahead and be a part of my guests. I can take up 9 of you. With me makes 10. So it can be a nice room like that. Now, the rules are simple: no profanity, and we do not eat or smoke in the room. Also, we do not use the names of children, the social workers, or the judges' names. Don't need any of that information up there. So I'm going to put my phone number on. There's my phone number, 626-698-0990. I'd love for you to have the call. David called me. That was good. David called me. That was good. Now, Rocky is sharing that even the law enforcement lie. And I know that Rocky is from New York. That's right. He's from New York. But he has a brother from Virginia, and it's in Nelson County, Virginia. And he's in Westchester County, New York. Now, if you want to do a video chat, it's best that you come on as a guest and we could do a video chat that way. It's not geared up for video chat here. So that's always a good idea, Rocky. That sounds good there. All right, the other number, if anybody's interested, 888-888-6582 is the law offices of Vincent Davis. That's where you can contact him, set up a time to meet and talk to him about your uh, your uh, So when you call that 888-888-6582, you reach the law offices. Okay, I think we got Barkley coming in here tonight. Good, Barkley. I'm glad to hear from you.
Oh, yes, glad to be calling in.
Yeah, thank you for calling me in. What's the latest, Bartley? Bartley, by the way, is from Montana.
Yes, I just wanted to tell you, I was so excited when I talked to you the other night about seeing Justin.
Right, with your shower, you give him a bubble bath. That was such exciting news.
Yeah. And then, he fell asleep in my arms. I clipped his toenails and his fingernails. And when I went to leave, I had also brought over him a fresh pillow, fresh pillowcase, and fresh blanket and stuff like that. So when I walked out of Kelly's house, I had the backpack on my shoulder, another bag on my shoulder, and like a trash bag with the pillow and blankie so I could wash the others. And I took 2 steps down, turned around to shut his door to his house, or his mobile home, and I turned around to walk down, and I fell down on the dirt ground.
Oh, no. Are you hurt? Are you hurt?
I am, but listen to how this goes. Okay, so I had fallen down. 30 seconds went by, and it's a long time when you're actually sitting like that. And then Kelly yells through the window, "Did you fall down?" And I go, "Yes, he did." And he didn't come open and check the door to see if I was doing. He didn't offer to help me. He didn't say nothing except that. So I waited for about 3 to 5 minutes for the intense pain to lift off my foot, so I could try to get myself up off the ground. And so I finally did, and I got home because it's like not too far. It wasn't too bad. I was limping a little bit. And then when I called you, I went to bed and finally fell asleep at about 9:30. And I woke up at 2:30, and my foot was so swollen and pulsating. I had to call the ambulance. I went to the hospital. They took when I took the shower tonight, it's even more fat and thicker and puffier, and it's turning real purple, blue, and black.
Did you put any ice on it right away?
Yes, and I've been elevating it.
Good, 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 good.
Yes. But at the same time, I still got to keep doing these things, that we got to do for our kids. So, but as I do things, then I'll take a break and do that because I have to.
Yes, I understand. I understand. I said I understand.
Yeah, thank you. I just can't believe that happened. And then, so today I ran into town to get my ibuprofen at the pharmacy. On the way back home, I saw Kelly's truck pulled over and his hood open. So I was, I'm trying to learn to love my enemies, which is kind of hard for me. But anyways, I pulled over and he got out of his truck and he goes, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Is there anything I can do to help? What's going on?" And he said, "His fuel pump went out." And I go, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly." I go, "How much do those cost?" He goes, "About $100. And he said, "Then you gotta pay somebody to put it in." And I go, "What about your friend? He gets up, knows how to put it in. Maybe you guys could do payments." And he goes, "Yeah." I would go, "Well, are you gonna be able to pick up Justin from the school today in time?" Because he only had about an hour and a half till he was gonna be out of school. He goes, "Yeah, we'll be fine." And then his friend let him borrow one of his cars. So tonight I called to tell Justin about my foot. And it was like, I forgot to tell you that when the girl picked me up from the hospital, she took me to see Justin at 7 o'clock this morning because I was supposed to help him get ready for school too, but I couldn't. And I told him what happened. And he grabbed my hands and prayed with me. Justin did. It was so cute. But anyways, I told him that tonight. And then Kelly sounded like he was in a bad mood. And I go, "Are you okay, Kelly?" And he goes, "No, I'm mad and angry," or something like that, right? And I go, "What's going on?" "Well, the truck. I go, "It's okay, Kelly." I said, there's always something in life. There will always be something in life, and it's okay. And instead of me getting upset with him, I said a prayer over the phone for him. And because I go, kind of like when me and Justin didn't have a car. I go, "Look, and God came through then." I go, "It'll happen." But he's so angry because of the money part.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I decided to share that.
Well, I'm glad you did. It just seems like though he's trying to be nice to you because he wants something. He doesn't really want to be nice to you. It's the child needs to be brought up by you. There's no question about that.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And he is kind of being nice, like, I don't know, I couldn't do anything to help him money-wise anyways, but I told him if he needed to for school, I would be more than happy to wake up and we can all go in my Jeep and drive him to that school. I can do things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it just was interesting to hear because he goes, "I'm PO'd," so he was really mad. And then Justin in the background, I hear him like when I was trying to talk to him, he was feeling upset in a sense because here's his dad, to him, his stepdad, knowing that he's angry right now about the vehicle situation. And my son was saying, "Yeah, Mom, and now we had to borrow the BMW from Mike." And I said, "It's okay. The truck will get repaired. It'll take time, but I could tell it's affecting him because of how that happens.
Right. Right.
And it made me so sad. So that's
It's
why
all right. You don't have to be,
pray.
you already know what the problem is. So that's really there. We have a new person come in the room. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Kelsey Boggs, who's been in here before. It's Michael and Kelsey. Kelsey's the mother, Michael's the father. And they wanted to say thank you for all the legal advice earlier today. They're on my show earlier when you was on earlier. It's been a great help. And hopefully we'll have a good case to put CPS into. I'm glad to hear about that, Kelsey. This place, hopefully, we can get this case manager off her case and get somebody who's willing to be neutral with us and hopefully get the supervisor dismissed. Also for lying on oath, as you told me the other day, the case manager did lie, which is bad. Um, to manipulate the facts to make themselves look good because the supervisor and case manager do not know how to do their jobs down here in Durbin County, Indiana. They're from Durbin County, Indiana, and they have a bad case manager, bad social worker, and so they're going through a lot of the hoops and hurdles that a lot of you are going through because CPS is corrupt. CPS is bad. You're going to encounter them. And I'm sorry that you do encounter them. Because right now, Bartley would tell you how nice CPS to her is. They've rescheduled. You've rescheduled your. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Bob.
No,
I wanted to say, though,
yeah, go ahead.
I got the letter in the mail from the Montana State Bar the other day to report my public defender.
Oh, good, good.
So I'm going to fill it out
Good.
as I can, because when I go places, I got to take the crutches now with me, but
I understand.
I can, yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to do a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. Well, if you can hear, Bartley really works hard on her case. She can't afford a real attorney. She's trying to get her court appointed attorney to do some work. And so she's reporting him to the state bar because he's been negligent on her case. He hasn't really fought for her and is not doing anything. That's the trouble when you use court appointed attorneys. They're not really qualified. They're only qualified in criminal law. And this isn't a criminal law matter. It's a special law that's called juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's the 3 areas of law that you want to be involved in. So, anyway, I'm glad that you've called in, Bartley, because we've had David call in earlier, and so it's good. You know, it's really interesting. I got a whole hour here, and I get very rarely get phone calls, and I'm thrilled to death when Betty Joe will call me, Dorothy Cook will call me, Margaret King, even Felicia from Ventura will call me. And then there is also Bartley will call me, and David Halago, who has a really bad case. His case is so tricky. When you have someone lie and coach a child to think there's something bad about their father, that's very destructive. That's very destructive. So when's your next court date, Bartley?
October 7th.
Okay, October 7th. Still a couple weeks out.
Yeah, this morning I called the criminal attorney
Mm-hmm.
to tell her about my foot. I actually spoke to her, the secretary, or whoever answers the phone there. And she asked her, how's it going with the case? Is it all dismissed? They dismissed all the felony charges, and they're thinking about opening up a new case and charging me with some misdemeanors.
Oh man, that's stupid. Who's doing that? Who's doing that?
The court, the prosecutor.
Well, yeah, but you can. Well, they always do that. They'd like to intimidate you, which is wrong.
Yeah.
This is a case. I know how bad they are. They intimidated me. They made up fabricated charges against me and my wife, and we went through hell for 2 years. It took us 2 years to get back. Our children were taken in the summer of 2015 and returned in December 2017. 2 of the 3 were returned. The one, she was convinced to divorce her parents at age 12, change her name, get a new birth certificate, and put her foster care people as the birth parents, which is stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
Yeah. And it's sad. I feel so sad for you about your daughter.
Yeah, it
So
really is.
sad.
She's
And I
23,
always,
and I had not
yeah, and I
seen her.
wondered today what she thinks. Like, gosh, they tricked me, and
Right, right.
yeah, it's sad.
Well, they're still trying to jig up some. They were double dipping out of Social Security, and Social Security has questioned that, and social services, which CPS is a part of, had a lot to do with the fraud funds. They're notorious for taking money that doesn't belong to them. You know how they use the money badly. How they use the money
Yeah,
badly.
right. And that's why when Kelly was so distraught this evening, I was thinking in the back of my mind and didn't say anything to him, but he's getting that $532 plus my Social Security check. He'll be able to get the filter, pump, whatever needed for the truck fixed. You know what I mean?
Right, I do.
That's his beer fund.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's got to do without beer. Yeah.
That's why he's upset.
Yeah, right, right.
It's terrible.
Well, is there anything you can offer the Boggs, Michael, or Kelsey? They have a bad case where their workers are corrupt. Rocky is helping out with the room. He has a brother in Virginia. Rocky's from New York, and he always has lots of advice there. We have Kelly, who's in the room, and she is trying to work through her case too. I forgot where Kelly's from already. Geez, you forget that all the time. Scott McMahon, I'm trying to figure out where you're from. You haven't told me where you're from. Okay. I guess I still not know where she's from. Indiana. That's right. Kelly is from Indiana. Now I remember it. It gets hard. It gets hard. Now you guys are probably wondering why I'm holding the phone this way. Rocky says he can't hear very well, so I put my speaker in front of my computer speaker, from my phone speaker to my computer speaker. That's how I'm trying to. Hopefully, y'all can hear Bartley talk. That's really good.
Yeah, all I can think of to say to people that, like most of us that have public defenders, is that unfortunately, with kind words, we need to use, even though we want to say other words, to get them to work for us. And but sometimes, like I had to threaten her, and I said it nice. I go, if you're not going to do your job correctly and help fight for my son, I'm going to report you to the state bar. And she said, go ahead.
Wow, she doesn't care.
Yeah. And so I waited a couple of days, and I called them up, and so I told her I got the paperwork, and I'm filling it out. And, because they don't do nothing. She went on a 30-day month trip to Europe. Since she's been back 3 times to talk to her, and each time was under 27 minutes was the longest call I got.
Wow.
They don't want to put no time or effort into it because she'll complain to me about all the cases she has, and I'll try to be understanding and say, I understand that you're overworked and you have a big caseload, and believe you me, I want to be off your caseload just as much as you want to stop doing my case, because it seems to be an issue for you. Because anytime I request something from you, or anytime I tell you the law that I know, you proceed to tell me that that's untrue when she's lying. Because I told her I educate myself and I'm not ignorant, and I know that this can be done or that can be done, but they don't want to put the effort into it.
Okay.
They're not getting paid the Google bucks.
Right. Well, you hit the nail right on the head there, Bartley. You did at that. That's for sure. Okay, We're getting ready to wind down the show. I have about 4 minutes left before I have to end my show. It's pulls in at 8 o'clock. And so we've had one emoji, and I want to thank again from Antonio Fernando de Silva. I have no idea where you're located, but thank you very much. And I want to thank not only Bartley for calling in, but David Halago for calling in. That was nice for both of you to call tonight and talk about your case and how people can help you and everything else. Let me see here. We had Kelly Bags in here, and thank you for calling in with your spouse Michael. Both of them have very corrupt social worker, and they're trying to fight that there. What they're doing there. Then we have Rocky from New York, Westchester County, New York. He has a brother in Virginia that he's been talking about and how we can help him. Then there's Kelly Pitzer, who has a really horrible job. I'm a judge, and she failed a drug screen test, and so she's really upset about that. Cynthia Livingston is from LA. Thank you for your kind words about God, and got that going there. Then Scotty McMahon, I don't know where you're from, but he thinks the judges are terrible. And of course, we've got Cindy upstairs. See who else do we got here? Oh, Trina Vienna. I'm so glad you're in here. And she has a case too. She's been talking about. And David Helago, I've already talked about him. And Trina, I've talked about. Kelly Peitzer, I talked about. Betty Joe from Montana. I'm glad that she's here tonight, and she's working to get her niece back from Nebraska. She lives in Montana. Then there's Trina, who's from York, Pennsylvania. I'm so glad that you're here too. That is really, really good. And I can't forget David Halago from Santa Maria, from as a case that Vincent Davis is representing him. So we have that there. So I pretty much talked to everybody. I want you all to remember, do not give up. Keep fighting. Do not give up and keep fighting. I'm going to put in the Doge information. Now, the Doge information is the Department of Government Efficiency. Bartley, I'm going to hit sign off, okay?
Okay.
I've still got the show going. I just need to close it out.
Okay, I'm going to hang up then.
All right. Thank you, Bartley. God
Okay,
bless you.
thank you.
God bless you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. That was Bartley from Montana. And so I'm getting ready to close down the show. This Doge information I have on is the stuff you do at the federal level. They're investigating CPS, the Child Protection System. Hopefully, they'll find out the problem with them and correct it. I have the website for Doge, and then I have the two phone numbers of the White House 202, and then their email. So you can send anything that's not going right or going wrong or whatever the case may be. But anyway, I really could use your, your input. They can really send it to there and they'll do something for you. So it's all right to call them or to send them an email or look at their website, and that would be good there. So I'm going to be, let me see, we have someone else, new people, I think, came in here. Can Doge correct an entire count? Count of what? I don't know if they can correct everything. Can Doge fix entire county? Oh, you meant, okay, I know what you meant. I don't know. They're investigating all the counties in the United States. They're investigating to find problems with social services and CPS and adult protection services. So we'll see. We'll see. If every one of you send an email to Doge about how corrupt your CPS system is in the whole United States, that would send a message to them. There you go. in mass. All of you could write an email, simple short email about your case and say that they're corrupt and give the name of your county. And they will investigate it. They will investigate it. They will. Okay? And so I'll leave that on there. Remember, don't ever forget to keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't give up. And so I'm glad that y'all in here. There'll be a brief video after I sign off. I want you to hear it. Also, I'll be on again tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the morning. That's 10 a.m. in the morning. God bless you all. And this is Bob Pace.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.